And you have to ask yourself, are you focusing in on the things that matter? You can work 100 hours a week, but at the end of the day, nobody's going to remember you for how many hours that you worked. What's up, YouTube? My name is Alvin. I'm a 20-year military veteran. I have almost a decade in law enforcement, and I like making videos on situational awareness. Situational awareness is not just tactical, but it's practical and something that you should be implementing into your everyday life, because when you're situationally aware about what's going on with yourself and your environment, you're more able to deal with things and handle them as they come up. And with it almost being the holidays, today I want to talk about how when life redefines you. And from the time you're young to the time you grow up and become an adult, or maybe you're still growing up, life is always going to be defined in you. And one thing that we used to say in the military, the only thing that is constant is change. Life is always going to be changing, and curveballs are most assuredly going to come your way. There may be someone in your life right now who you've unfortunately lost, and you're grieving that process. And I know for me personally, I lost my mom a few years ago, and albeit difficult, I can say that I feel like that she prepared me for that process. I remember from the time that I was young, she always told me, I had to, fend for myself, learn how to take care of myself, be responsible, because she wasn't going to live forever. And one day she was going to be gone and she was going to be dead. And she was just blunt like that. And this is just wasn't a one-off. This was just reoccurring. She would always remind me of the fact that we live and we die. And just depending on where you're at in life, I know everybody is not a believer. I am a believer. I believe in Christ, so I know what's going to happen to me when I die. I know, for a lot of people in my life are believers in Christ. I know where they're going, and we will be reunited again one day in heaven. So when you are a believer, you have a different, perspective on life. This can be a good time right now to just kind of reflect on where you are and what you're going to have to do to move forward. Because I know personally, having dealt with a lot of loss in my life, lost parents, a sibling, and those things can be difficult, especially when you lose a sibling, because my sister passed away before she was 50, and that was just something that you don't expect. That's my big sister. She's always been in my corner, and I've always looked up to her. And just for her to be gone without even like having an illness, and just got a phone call one day she was gone. So I mean, that can rock you. However, I think initially we're all taken aback, but then you have something to fall back on. So for those of you who do have faith, now it's more important than ever. For those of you who don't have faith, reach out to one of your friends that do, because I'm sure they care for you, they love you, they're praying for you, whether you believe it or not. And it's always good. You got to have somebody in your corner. You got to have somebody who loves you, respects you, and supports you, regardless of what you're going through. Perfectly, hopefully we all have, someone like that in our lives that we can really rely on when things get tough. You might have to reevaluate your circle. And unfortunately, there are times when you're trying to be there for people and you want to, but then they just don't want you in their life. And that's also something that you have to learn how to cope and deal with as well. So I always like to think about this time of the year as a point of reflection. It is Thanksgiving, and I'm thinking about what I'm thankful for, because each day, somebody didn't wake up today, somebody didn't get that extra day. And you have to ask yourself, are you focusing in on the things that matter? You can work 100 hours a week, but at the end of the day, nobody's going to remember you for how many hours that you work. And these are all things that, not that I'm just saying to you, but I have to remind myself and just try to be better on a daily basis, because none of us are perfect, but we are striving to be better. And I hope that you are striving to be better. So with that being said, take some time for reflection, reach out. If you need counseling, get counseling. If you've fallen away from your faith, it's time to come back to it. But whatever you do, don't just shut everybody out and think nobody cares about you, nobody loves you, because I'm sure that's not the case. So with that being said, today's situational awareness message is, be in tune to who you are, be in tune to you, be in tune to the thing that you say you believe in. And if you can do that, then you can press forward one more day. You can be better one more day, because that's all that really matters, is that you recognize the problem so you can deal with it. If you don't recognize the problem, you're living disillusion and lie to yourself, and that's not going to help you in the long run, because the goal is to be better. The goal is just to be aware of ourselves, and once we become aware of ourselves, we can develop the proper mindset, so that way we can push forward and understand that tough times don't last, but the tough people do. So I hope that you have a good holiday season, and I'm going to bring you more messages like this and try to get some professionals to give you that aspect of it as well, so that way you can really cover yourself, because there's no one fix all solution. But please, until the next time, stay vigilant. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. If you have some feedback about what you're going through, something that you want to talk about, something that you would like to see, hey, drop it down in the comments. We're here to support each other and help each other. Stay vigilant.